What is a dream? Better yet, why do we dream? This philosophical question is so pervasive, it penetrates all aspects of living. Western cultures are so focused on dreaming that it becomes a part of the national identity. Think of America, the so-called American dream, a legend popularized during the Great Depression, as a light of hope in the darkness and most despairing of times. It still influences modern dreams and aspirations, despite social mobility being on the decline since the 1990s. Other iterations of what dreaming is exist within culture, transcending modernity which taps into the soul of humanity. A dream of becoming a knight for justice in a world where the concept has long since been antiquated.
I, Don Quixote, the Lord of La Mancha.
A dream for vengeance from a time so far long gone it consumes the individual.
In my mind's eye, Kenobi.
A dream to find salvation in a desolate world.
Jag vill att Gud räcker med sin hand, avtäcker sitt ansikte och talar till mig.
And so on and so forth. A dream presents itself universally as something wholly unique and subjective for the individual. It is this literal concept of the dream, the goal of an individual, to achieve more than they believe themselves able to achieve. That is something which has been destroyed, lost, and forgotten in the modern era. Within Ursula Le Guin's The Lathe of Heaven, though mostly addressing the psychological aspect of dreams, she presents the idea that literal dreams are the most inner desires of an individual which are obscure to the world and even to themselves. The aspirations of the antagonist, Haber, ones of selfish power and control, of domination over the feeble antagonist, or are veiled under the guise of benefiting the world.
Everything that comes before them, and nobody knows it but me. I killed her.
George, I want you to understand something. There is a difference between what you dream and what you do.
But not from me. It's the same thing.
Even Haber himself is unable to realize his own ambitions until his true nature consumes not only himself, but quite literally the entire world around him, leaving him a shadowy husk of his former dreams. In accordance with Le Guin's perspective, one's goals must be understood, revealed at a deeper, fundamental level, unless the individual is destroyed by their own unfulfilled desires. In a different view, Hermann Hesse's Demian highlights the process of dreaming, of the desire being fulfilled and replaced anew constantly and cyclically. The protagonist Sinclair, early in his development, struggles with this fact of life and instead refuses the renewal, clawing and grasping for the dream of the past, a nostalgia that is long since gone. The dream to retain one's innocence and blissful ignorance, a hopeless dream, an impossible dream, yet one that causes Sinclair to reach into the depths of despair because he refuses to let the dream die. He has to find a new dream, something new to aspire for. Because once the dream is done, one does not simply stay at the top of the mountain and live there forever. He has to move on, whether he likes it or not, and grow as a person. Following this, an individual needs to dream, a driving force which challenges and puts them at risk of failure in order to grow and mature as a person. Without this mechanism of dreaming, there is only stagnation of the character and a sense of loathing, of deep self-hatred that permeates the soul and mind. Both these perspectives, though differing in nature, can be used as a lens to view the problematic nature of the modern world, how both the persistence of stagnation and the inability to self-reflect and see one's truest desires culminate in a great plague known as social media. It specifically targets the youth, those in the greatest needs of dreams, and encourages predatory behaviors in the video format, content, and in usage of social media. Broadly speaking, the content encourages the worship of others' dreams. The conceptualization of influencers, which promote false and unrealistic worldviews onto impressionable youth, plants a feeling of insecurity that inhibits the young from having meaningful or even achievable goals. When scrolling through hundreds of different influencers flexing multi-million-dollar lifestyles of materialism and superfluous affluence, what is there to be inspired by? The destructive habits formed in this environment only furthers the damage. The repetitive nature of the algorithm, causing users to swipe so rapidly through the content. Only the first 1 or 2 seconds are flashed into the user's mind in search of another hit of dopamine. So what does this entail for greater society? Dreams killed by the pleasure of modern living. A generation which struggles to dream and determine their own unique paths out of childhood and into a harsh world which has no care nor any understanding of the impact that the specter of social media has, which permeates everyone's daily life. I can only dream for a dream in which people can dream for themselves.